Breaking news.
Breaking
It's
news.
the year of the chatbot.
The latest setback for climate action. The latest Supreme
The
Court
court is
ruling.
set
In
to
the latest
redefine-
Supreme Court ruling, the court is set to redefine
Hey there, and welcome to the Mission Forward podcast, where each week we bring you a thought-provoking and perspective-shifting conversation on the power of communication. I'm Carrie Fox, your host, equity champion, and CEO of Mission Partners, a social impact communications firm and certified B Corporation. Today, I'm bringing you one of our short-form episodes, drawn from my weekly Wednesday column. If you like what you hear, head on over to missionforward.us and get these insights delivered right to your inbox each and every Wednesday morning. You can also help me out by forwarding today's episode to a friend and giving this show a 5-star rating, which helps make sure the content gets out to more people who can benefit from it. But enough of all of that. On to today's show, Polarization at Work. This past March, Super Tuesday polls closed as expected for a U.S. presidential election cycle dominated by a set of expected frontrunners. However, it's not particularly what's been in the headlines as what has been absent from them. The increasingly sharp polarization among U.S. residents and the effect it's beginning to have in our workplaces. As Joel Achenbach wrote in this must-read Washington Post article that is tagged inside the notes of this episode, he wrote, "This country, though politically fractious since its founding, is more polarized than ever, the rhetoric more inflammatory. Our politics tend to be more emotional now. Policy preferences are increasingly likely to be entangled with a visceral dislike of the opposition." Disagreement within a democracy has always been part of a healthy democratic process. However, what Achenbach reported and several others have elevated in recent weeks is a different type of polarization called affective polarization. Cami Akavan, executive director of the USC Center for the Political Future, recently described it like this: affective polarization is not a matter of I'm right and you're wrong. It becomes a matter of I'm right and you're evil. And as soon as somebody is evil, you can justify doing anything you want to them. If you think affective polarization isn't an issue on your team, well, think again. According to a January 2024 study by Polarization Research Lab, 25% of Americans say they avoid colleagues due to differing political views. A third of employees choose not to express their true beliefs at work because they know a colleague disagrees with them. And 13% of employees are likely to look for another job due to political disagreement. Tensions are rising, my friends, and they're only expected to increase as we near presidential election day. So what are we going to do about it? If you are anticipating or maybe already seeing tensions on your team, political or otherwise, and you feel uncertain about your role in navigating them, your concern isn't misplaced. Social discord on your team today can lead to lower productivity, work quality, and unhealthy conflict among team members moving forward. As recently shared by our friends over at the Civic Alliance, while there's real cause for concern, there is also a significant opportunity that workplaces can leverage. In times like these, when political tension is high, our actions and words can either contribute to division or promote understanding. By encouraging respectful dialogue, understanding, and collaboration, employers can help mitigate polarization. So while you might prefer to stay silent on issues of politics, you don't need to ignore the effects of political polarization on your team. By acknowledging the tension and making resources available in your workplace, you can help your colleagues choose understanding over judgment. And in the process, you can strengthen your company's culture and reinforce our democratic system. Here's some things to consider doing or sharing in your workplace, as compiled by the Civic Alliance. First, set the tone. Send a clear message to your team about what you expect and value in the workplace. Take a moment in an email or at the top of a staff meeting to reinforce your commitment to cultivating a workplace culture that values diversity of thought. that encourages open dialogue, that practices empathy, and that supports a team to be educated voters and participants in our democracy. Promote understanding by sharing nonprofit civic education resources that establish shared foundational knowledge of how our government works and our civic responsibilities. Consider hosting a training or sharing resources from a nonpartisan organization. Some of the ones I love: Braver Angels, Moral Courage College, Constructive Dialogue Institute, and the News Literacy Project, all of which can help you and your team proactively navigate difficult situations. And 3, encourage engagement. Now isn't the time to hide from this issue. The more we practice gathering, radical listening, and empathy, the more we can bridge the issues that divide us. Consider hosting team-building activities or community service days that create relaxed environments where employees can learn about one another's backgrounds and experiences. In fact, research has shown that opposing parties collaborating casually decreases animosity and cultivates mutual understanding. So there you go. Set the tone, promote understanding, and encourage engagement. At Mission Partners, we are proud members of the Civic Alliance. We proactively provide these resources to support our team's participation in the democratic process, and we'll be engaging with some of these trainings in the coming months too. I would love to talk with you more about them if you're interested, and if you want to access more resources like these, head over to civicalliance.com and join our efforts. Bottom line for today is that political polarization is real, and it will likely grow. So get ahead of it in your workplace by helping your team build the skills to navigate divisive conversations while actively supporting civic engagement. Today's episode is brought to you by Ask a Chief of Staff. Unlock your potential as a Chief of Staff with Ask a Chief of Staff, the ultimate resource for those who are looking to secure high-impact roles and drive results. Whether you're stepping into this unique corporate title for the first time or aiming to level up, Ask a Chief of Staff has you covered. Join their online community for bi-weekly workshops hosted by industry leaders, mentorship programs, in-person events, and personalized job search services. Plus, if you're a CEO or executive in need of a Chief of Staff, trust their proven recruiting and placement services. Ask a Chief of Staff has curated candidate lists that will find you the right strategic thought partner to help take you and your business to the next level. At Ask a Chief of Staff, they are finding a Chief of Staff for every executive. So go check them out at askachiefofstaff.com. And that brings us to the end of another episode of Mission Forward. If you like what you heard today, I hope you'll stop right now and give this show a 5-star rating wherever you are listening to this podcast. Maybe even forward it to a friend who you think would enjoy today's conversation. And of course, check out the show notes for all of the links referenced in today's show. Mission Forward is produced with the support and wisdom of Pete Wright and the True Story production team, as well as the wonderful Sadie Lockhart of Mission Partners. You can learn more about our work over at missionforward.us. And of course, reach out to me anytime at carrie@mission.partners. Thanks for tuning in today, friend, and I'll see you next time.